Hoy se va a estrenar una sección en el canal en la que voy a entrevistar a gente que admiro, que me encantaría preguntarle miles de cosas y de la que tengo mucho que aprender. Y el primer invitado va a ser Sherbin. Sherbin es un ingeniero de mezcla que reside en Estados Unidos, más concretamente en Los Ángeles, pero nacido en Nueva York. Aunque ha trabajado con posiblemente los ingenieros más grandes de la historia de la música, como son Bruce Swedien y Manny Marroquin, lo realmente especial de Sam es que siempre ha superado todas las expectativas. Nacido de forma 3 meses prematura, esa fue la primera piedra que Sam encontró en el camino, aunque hubieron muchísimas más. Si queréis saber más sobre su vida, hay un podcast que se llama In the Zone, realizado por él mismo, en el que describe su vida un poquito y qué por lo que ha pasado, y os lo recomiendo encarecidamente. Pero aquí no nos vamos a centrar en su vida, a pesar de que es interesantísima. Vamos a centrarnos en sus gustos, vamos a hablar de cosas sobre mezcla, sobre música, lecciones de vida. Vamos a intentar sacar lo mejor de Sam en 30 minutillos, si es posible. Por último, me gustaría mencionar algunos de sus créditos. Él ha trabajado con Krit, con Kevin Abstract, productores de gente muy top del mundo, con BabyJake, en fin, muchísima gente ya dentro del mundo profesional de la música y algunos bastante relevantes en su sector. Hoy vamos a hablar de resiliencia. Hoy vamos a hablar con Sherbin. And then that's it. Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay. Hi, Sam. Thanks for coming and thanks for your time. It's a pleasure for me to know things about you and how you work and everything. And how are you today?
I'm good. I'm just taking it easy. It's Labor Day here in the US, and yeah, I'm doing great.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So I will go straight with the question, with probably one of the most important questions about your life. And I have said that in the introduction that you work with Bruce. Bruce is one of the biggest engineers of the history. And yes. My question for you is, how did you make it? I mean, how did you reach that way? That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very unique opportunity. I was Googling Bruce's name, and he had a master class in Florida, which he was only picking 10 people in the world to participate in. And I filled out the application. I filled it out thinking nothing of it. And a few months later, his assistant emailed me back and told me that I was one of the 10 selected. And my whole family thought it was a joke. They were like, is this real or not, you know? And it turned out to be real. I flew to Florida and spent a week with Bruce Swedien learning all of his miking techniques, mixing techniques. He was just an open book. It was a very unique opportunity, and also Bernie Grundman was there. So you have the guy who recorded and mixed Thriller, and you also have the guy who mastered it in the same room.
Yeah. So
it was just absolutely unbelievable, and then ended up working on a project together. This small folk band in Florida that he mixed for. I did some mastering on that, which was fun. So it was actually cool to actually get to work with him at some point during his life. So that was amazing.
That's true. I envy you a lot, and so many people do. I am sure about that. Okay, this is a more personal question. I want to ask you, why did you choose to be a mixing engineer and not master engineer, not a recording engineer? Why mixing engineer?
I think I chose mixing based on how much kind of control and creativity I could bring to the process, right? When you're recording, you're recording the source information. When you're producing, you're creating the instrumentation, and when you're mastering. I felt like mixing was all those things together, just in one vocation. I started out as an artist producer, and I just wanted my records to sound better initially. So once I found out how much control you have over the sonics of a record with mixing, that's when I dived completely in. And I was 15 at the time, and just haven't stopped since. It's a very unique occupation. A lot of people don't understand it. They think you're a DJ. You say you're a mixer. You're like, no, I mix the music. You know. Yeah. So it's fun. It's really fun. Every day is a different challenge, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
It's true. I agree with you 100%. Okay. So you said that you work with Bruce, with you also work with Manny, another top talent in the world, and
Yeah.
with Bernie. Bernie from Bernie Grundman Mastering, I think it was the house.
Yeah, Bernie Grundman mastering.
Exactly. So you've worked with top three in the industry. It's the best of the best. So
Yeah.
what are the best experiences that you remind that you can tell us about working with this kind of people that are the best?
Yeah, I think there was some similarity in between how they approach music, right? They listen very thoroughly. They had a certain intensity, a certain kind of attention to detail that a lot of people don't normally have, right? When you see how detailed they are and how focused they are on what they're doing by step, that's really an amazing takeaway I got. And also, just you have to be a kind person, kind, and you have to love the music, and it's just about staying focused and determined. I think this job is a really difficult job, and it's all about kind of containing yourself and staying focused and staying in the zone so that you could work to the best of your ability. So that's usually the biggest takeaway I got from there. It wasn't a technique thing. A lot of people assume that there's a certain technique that makes these guys different than the next person, but it's really not so much the technique. It's really so much about how dedicated you are to the craft, you know?
I think that from the music that I've listened that you mixed, I think
Yeah.
that your main goal is to make it, let's say, emotional. I think that's your main goal.
Yeah.
But my question is this one. But this is my take. I want to know yours because maybe you are looking for something different. Um, what's the most important thing for you when you are doing your job?
The most important thing is to make the client happy, the producers happy, everyone involved happy. And I think it's to get it to be a more emotional, like you were saying. When you listen to it, you kind of invoke some kind of emotion. You're happy, you're sadder, you're angry, whatever the song is trying to convey. I really try to just focus on what it's trying to convey, right? If you just listen to the music from top to bottom and you try to think, well, what kind of emotion are they trying to get out of me? That you kind of focus on that. Is it completely in the vocals? Is it in the bridge section? Is it in the choruses? What are the choruses trying to do? And it's really about focusing on what emotion you want to get out the record and what techniques you have to make something more emotional.
Yeah, in the
So,
end, I think it's simple,
yeah,
right? In the end, that's all.
yeah,
I think that's all. That's what you said that you learn from the best and you apply to your own job work.
yeah.
That's it. Okay, great. What's the best thing about your job? The best.
I want to say just collaborating, working on new music every day. I don't take anything for granted. I mean, every song is different. I think with my discography, I work on pop music and hip hop and some, I've worked on some classical stuff. I worked on different countries, Chinese artists, J-pop, Brazilian artists all over the world, and just fun to hear something different and work on something different every single time. So I think that's where the fun is, you know.
That's great. And now, what's the worst thing?
I wouldn't call it worse. Um, I just think that you have to have your communication skills
You
on
have to train
point. You
them.
have to, yeah, you have to conversate in a way where what you're saying and what they're saying makes the same sense for both parties. So you're working on music. A producer may say one thing, an artist may say another thing, a manager may say something else. It's a lot of personal skill sets, And once you dial that better, then that makes the job so much easier. Because I feel a lot of it is miscommunication. Where there's a tension point when you're working with someone, I think it's a miscommunication thing than anything else. Once you clear communication, and both parties or multiple parties understand where you're coming from or where everyone else is coming from, you're going to find the process to be a lot more easier and more like everyone's on the same page.
Okay, great. What are the three main, let's say, characteristics that a person who would like to be a mixing engineer should have? The three main characteristics.
Stubborn.
Okay.
I think a lot
Great.
of people in the business are stubborn. I'm very stubborn, and I was like, I'm gonna make it in music, no matter what. I don't care what, I was very stubborn because I knew what I wanted to do.
Great.
Another thing is humility. You have to stay humble. Don't let the success get to you, and don't let the failures get to you. You kind of even out your mindset on how you deal with losses and how you deal with wins, as far as a profession goes. And I think the third thing is to stay open-minded. Talk to everyone, communicate to people. Always, get your respect, demand your respect. Don't let anyone disrespect you. But also just have fun.
Yeah.
Remember why you did it in the first place. Just have fun, because when it doesn't become fun, it's not a passion. It seems like a job at that point. So you always want to have some kind of fun.
Okay, great, cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that I wanted to address now. Is that you said that you have to keep yourself humble. My next question is this one. How do you deal with the success?
I give myself a moment of thankfulness. I'm happy to have success. I'm happy to have any kind of success, things that do really well. And I kind of tell myself, I'm grateful for this moment, and I cherish the moment, and I kind of move on to the next thing. I try not to stay in that, celebratory mindset for too long. I like to celebrate in the moment, and I kind of just.
So I guess that you do
the
the
next
same
thing.
thing with the failure, right?
The failure, I kind of sit with it a little bit longer just because I want to learn.
Okay.
You learn more from the failures than you do the successes. The successes say,
That's true.
what I'm doing right now is working, but the failures really help you see more things, right? So if you have a certain client and someone else is kind of a similar kind of client, because you failed with the first client means you learn from that, and then you use those skill sets to the second one so that you can succeed. So it's a lot of thinking about, what could have been done better.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool. If you would have to choose only one person from the world, I don't care if it's the audio world, the music world, I don't care. If you have to choose one person, who would be the person that you have learned the most in your life? And is there any advice that is good for the rest of us?
Yeah, I think Bruce Swedien definitely was one, because that was a very pivotal time in my life, and I think that he always said music first. Music first. He loved music. He enjoyed music, and you should always enjoy music as a music creator. Listen to more music. Stay open-minded, and like I said, have fun. Have fun. It's a long journey. I think once you choose a career as a creative, it's a long journey.
It is.
And it may take 10 years to get somewhere. It
Only
may take
10.
15 years. It may take, 10 years
10?
is not, 10 years is not that, 10 years is long. I've been doing it for over 10 years, but it literally feels like a year or something like that. Because
Really?
my life hadn't really changed that much. I gotten older, but me going to the studios and working wasn't changing, so it felt a lot shorter because I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah. What's your short-term goal right now?
Short-term goal. Well, I just moved to LA, so in April. So short-term goal is do more meetings safely, of course.
Great.
Work on my studio more.
Great.
Gonna get a acoustician in here and work on the room more. And yeah, those are some of the short-term goals. Kind of see what's working, see what needs to be improved on, and just do that.
Okay, will you upload a video on your YouTube channel about the acoustic work that you will do, or not?
I might.
Okay, good.
You know, I might do something on Instagram and show the work I've been doing. I have tube traps, which Bruce Swedien used. He used something called an attack wall. So I have a part of that in my room, and I'm also just gonna keep working on the acoustics.
Yeah, it is vital part of any mixing engineer. So that's it. Okay, great. Now I would like to move to a more sonical part of the interview, and I would like to make you a question about two top threes. I would like two top threes. One, a top three of your favorite albums of all time. I don't care the genre. Top three, and then a top three, but sonically talking. Sonically, just the best sounding albums that you say, this is for me, this is a reference, and I listen to it all the time when I want to say, this is incredibly well mixed.
Yeah. Top three album. I want to say Michael Jackson Thriller.
Okay, I agree.
I want to say John Mayer Continuum.
I agree.
And I do like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, Beatles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very emotional albums.
Yeah. Very, very intricate
musical.
album. They did a lot of stuff. Yeah.
That's true.
Sgt. Pepper's is a great album.
Okay, great. And now, sonically, if we talk about mixing?
Definitely Thriller, of course. Thriller.
Okay. Thriller too.
Continuum as well, for an album that sonically sounds good, but feels really good. It feels very much in a pocket.
Exactly. Yeah. More than sonical, it's more like feeling. But I, from my point of view, that album needs a little bit too bright. From my point of view.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't agree, but that's my opinion.
Sonically, I can't believe that the ice cream truck is always. You can hear that. Yeah. I don't listen to albums so much for sonics anymore, but I'm trying to think of like Bruno Mars 24K Golden or 24K Sherbin Guinea mixes are incredible references.
It is. It's true. He's a monster. Right now, he could be right now the number one, I think, or maybe Manny.
He's definitely like number one. Him and Manny back and forth.
That's right. But it's the number one or two in this case.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now I wanted to talk with you about a song that you mixed. Yeah. And I think that it's incredibly emotional. And I think that you make the low end that it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's the BabyJake, funny thing about love, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
About love. Well, okay, that song. Do you remember how you mixed that low end? Because it's so groovy, it's so funky, but at the same time it's clean. I don't know if you can explain us a little bit to the mortals.
Yeah, so I did not mix that song. That was mixed by Neil Pogue.
You didn't do that one?
No. I did additional engineering on that. So I worked on the bass. I worked on the same stuff that he mixed, but the low end I worked on that. So
okay, great.
So
better.
But yeah, I didn't mix it, but I did engineer on those points. So
how
low end. I went in there and I remember taking out clicks. Went in there and cleaned some things up and added some kind of distortion. I'm not sure what distortion I used.
Parallel or not parallel?
Some parallel, yeah. I used a little radiated parallel for that a little bit.
Nice plugin.
Yeah, this is a while back, but shout out to Neil Pogue. He did mix that, but
in the credits too, so you appear as a mixing engineer. in the credits of the
on the
song.
credits. Yeah, I
Yep.
think I was seen as an engineer. I don't know. Yeah, but
I don't know. So I am asking you. Okay, so okay, I need to check one thing. Then I will later. I will save this for later because there is another song that I love, and I think
Yeah.
you mixed it. But now I don't know. So I will take a look in my phone and I will make you the question because I had that prepared, but I don't remember the name. So I will make
yeah,
you.
there's
Later.
only if it's on my playlist, there's only like one song that I didn't mix, and that was the baby. I just engineered.
Okay.
Did some engineering on that, but everything else on that list is me. So
Okay, it's from Rachel something.
Rachel Platen.
Yeah, it's from that girl, but I don't remember the name of the song, so
It
I
was
prefer to
Soldiers.
tell you.
Yeah.
You got it. That's
yeah,
right.
I mixed
That's
that,
right.
so we could talk about that. all
Okay,
day.
great. Again, emotional to the
Yeah.
top, I think. In that particular song, I think that you did something. For me, the question, I mean, I could make you thousands of questions about this, but for me, the question is the atmosphere. How did you get that atmosphere? Because I think that you use delays with reverbs and then you mix them together and then you. What did you do? It's that part, that emotion.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a super emotional record. There's a lot of there was some reverb printed, and I added my own reverb. I added like a light, kind of a spread reverb. It doesn't sound like reverb. It sounds kind of like an airy ambiance thing.
It is. It is.
So I was sending her vocal to that, and I was also sending the strings to that. And it's a lot of manual writing of the strings. It's very, very. It gets very, very big.
Yeah.
And it's all about controlling the vocal and controlling the low end on that record. It just
That
gets
one
bigger and
sounds
bigger.
like a difficult mix, or I am incorrect.
It wasn't difficult. It was very nuanced.
Oh yeah.
It was a very nuanced. You had to just go in there and control all the parts by hand, because a compressor could only do so much. You had to go in there and manually ride
Okay.
an instrument. The strings, for example, they would manually get rolled and manually, moving words, making sure one word doesn't stick out over the other word.
Yep.
That's when it gets really tedious because that record is very intimate sounding. So,
It is.
if anything goes wrong on that, you could hear it. It's not like a big production where you can kind of cover it up with other things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one of my favorite mixes I've done.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. It's fantastic, and congratulations for that. To this day, can you tell me what are the mixing engineers that you follow for you or references?
Yeah, I like Sherbin.
Okay.
His mixes are very clean. They're very pristine.
Yeah.
What?
Before you continue, what do you,
Yeah.
this question is not in the list, but you said that you like Sherbin.
Yeah.
What do you think about that extremely compressed high end? Because I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I think it's a sound. I think he had a sound, and people like that sound.
It's
It is
true.
compressed. It's controlled. I think his mixes are extremely controlled.
Exactly.
And,
extremely. That's
nothing-
for me. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Extremely
Yeah.
controlled.
Yeah.
But
But I
okay.
think I think for everyone they have different ideas on what they like in the mixes. I like my mixes to breathe a little bit more, to not have as much clamping. But once you start clamping on things, you get that perfection kind of sound where nothing is out of pocket, nothing's moving, and it kind of sits in
But
a certain space.
Yeah, I mean, he is the best, but
Yeah.
I kind of prefer your approach to the music, because yours or anyone who prefers to not prioritize a very controlled sound, because I think the dynamics are the life of the music, and
Yeah.
he kind of killed them. I don't know, but okay, sorry. Please continue. Sherbin, which one?
Manny. Manny's always one of my favorites, and Yeah, I'm trying to think. Chad Blake
Chad
as
Blake,
well.
yeah.
Chad Blake, incredible mixer.
Very good.
Stuart White mixes for Beyonce.
Yeah, it's
Very,
very
very
good too.
good.
Yeah. He mixes some rock that sounds incredible. He makes like 1,000 parallel buses.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like, are you crazy?
he's a friend. He's a friend, and he's very talented.
Yeah, he is.
Tom Elmhurst. I think Tom Elmhurst
Yeah, Tom.
has an aesthetic, has a sound that I like a lot.
He's very good.
I like a lot.
He's very good. I guess you know, but what do you think about Mark Spike Stent?
Oh, come on, he's a legend. He's a legend.
That guy for me is like,
He's
Very
very good, and he's just one of those mixers who has a discography that works back then and it works now. You know, to have an
Exactly.
80s record that he mixed for Madonna or a Spice Girls record, he just mixes a new version of that stuff. So I think it's really cool that he has that much experience
exactly.
that he gets to work on stuff like that.
Exactly.
He's incredible.
He compress a lot, and he makes very shiny mixes, but
Yeah, shiny.
but they are emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, he's better in that regard to Sherbin, for example. He kind of do the same, but a little bit better. To my taste. This is to my taste,
Yeah.
of course. Okay. I'm speaking with you. Okay, great. So, what's your method to translate the mixes to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube? Is there any method, any rules that you follow in every mix to make sure that sounds fantastic in the digital realm?
Yeah, I don't have any rules, but I do check the LUFS.
Yeah.
You know, I think LUFS is good. There's a program called Streamliner,
Yeah.
which could make you listen to the codecs of Spotify and YouTube, so you could hear what it's doing. Not to compensate for what it's doing, but just to have an understanding of, hey, my top end is going to sound different, my low end is going to sound different on these platforms. But once I send it to mastering,
Yeah.
I just let it do its thing. You know, if you can't control all those things. They're interesting to hear because you want to hear how much different it sounds, or if it got mangled in any way. But I don't pay too much attention to it.
Oh, well, that's okay. Great. Okay, so I'm going to make you some questions, but I want fast answers because I'm going to make you. What's your favorite? Yes. What's your favorite dad? So I don't want you to think too much. Just a straight answer, and that's it. Okay, great. So the first one. What's your favorite mic?
My favorite mic is Neumann M269C.
Great. Your favorite preamp?
My favorite preamp is a Neve 1081.
Great. What's your favorite compressor?
TubeTech CO1B.
Classic. What's your favorite EQ?
Fab Filter Pro Q3.
In hardware?
And hardware,
Yeah.
SSL EQ.
Okay,
SSL
great.
channel.
Your favorite headphones?
Favorite headphones are the ones I'm wearing, the II Young Guru headphones.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the element from your studio? Well, not from your studio, but from any studio that you would say invest money. If there's one thing that you should invest money, what's the thing?
Your computer.
The computer. Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, great, fantastic. If you could only use 5 plugins, which one would be?
Pro Q3. I'll use Waves RComp.
Okay.
Waves de-esser.
Great.
Black Box is cool. And the Isotope Neutron Suite, because you'll have a bunch of plugins in there. So.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cheating, but okay. Okay. If you could only use one analog piece of gear, only one, which one would be?
The Unfair Child 670. I love that.
I applaud you. I haven't used it, but I think that's fantastic. Okay.
It sounds really good.
I think it is. I think it does. I think it does. It does. Okay, so now that was it. That was the fast round, a little bit without thinking too much. And now I would like to make you a question, but this is more about self-development. So
Okay.
the thing is, can you recommend us to everybody some books about anything?
Yeah, there's an incredible book called Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist.
Oh, okay, good.
Very good book. There's the E-Myth by
The
Michael
E-Myth.
Gerber, I believe.
Yeah,
E-Myth.
yeah, I know what it is. Yeah.
And Tuesdays at Maury.
Oh, really?
It's a really good book. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so apart from the books, I know that you have a special hobby. Let's say they are the perfumes.
Yes.
And can you tell us why perfumes? And can you tell us the best perfume that you have? And what does it smell like?
Wow, that's a great answer. Perfumes is something I got into young, and they invoke a certain emotion out of me. You smell something, it triggers your memory.
Yeah.
So I started collecting from there, and it's very much like mixing. There's a pyramid in perfumery, and there's also a pyramid in mixing. There's a base, there's middle, and there's top in perfumery.
Yeah.
And the perfumer is blending those things as if, like mixers is blending elements, but they're blending oils and concentrates and things like that. And I do have a bunch, but I think the one that I love the most is Chanel Platinum Ego S.
Can you show us the case? You have
yes.
it over there?
Yeah, I have it.
I'm
have
just
it
curious.
back here.
Look at that. Looks very good. Is that thing difficult to find?
So that's one that my father, who passed away, that's what he wore. So it has a lot of sentimental value.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that difficult to find?
No, it's not difficult.
No, it's not difficult. It's just
Yeah. It's I think it was made in 1993, but they still sell it.
Okay.
It smells very good. It's very fresh. It has a metallic kind of a smell.
Okay.
Petty grain in there. It's very good. It's very clean.
Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, so now it's a very generic question, but this one is, if you could give us any advice, just one, what's the best advice that you have for the people? I don't care if it's about music, if it's about cooking, I don't care. The best advice that you have for anyone. Imagine that it's your child. What would you say to your child?
I would say, live life and enjoy the moments. Spend time and do what you love. Truly do what you love. I think some people do what society tells them to do and do these things, but when you do what you love, that's when you can contribute the most back to society. You're feeling good about what you do. There's passion in what you do. There's responsibility, and it's just about that, finding that spark. Everyone has that. Everyone has a different spark. You go to bakery, someone's smiling, they're making you bread. That's what they love to do.
Yeah.
They pass that along. A doctor, there's so many people out here in the world that love what they do, and once you find that, I feel like your life changes, and you find some kind of purpose and joy to give to the world.
Yeah, I agree with you, and thank you. That words are fantastic. Thank you. And if there is anything that you would like to add, please feel free to do it. And if not, goodbye.
Yeah. What led you to mixing? What led you to music?
To me, but just I started producing it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I found myself in the necessity to mix it because nobody else wanted to do it, or I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
So it's just the necessity. But then with the time, I have reached the point where I love it. I'm making everything sound together. I appreciate the details. I think that you said about Manny and Sherbin and Bruce, you said that they look for the nuances, you said? if I'm not
the
correct.
nuances. Yeah.
And I do the same every day more and more. I think
Yeah.
that's the key. There was
Yeah.
one time when I was focused extremely in the technical part,
Yeah.
but now emotion is the key. I don't
Emotions is the key. Techniques you could pick up here and there. They change a lot. They're not a definitive.
No.
Some techniques are more definitive techniques. But once you figure out that everyone has a technique and they slightly change it, you just have to find what you like. You know, what are you trying to say with the music? And once you figure out what you want to say, then people hire you. They don't hire you for mixing. They hire you for your taste. They hire for you for what you do.
know. Exactly.
You know, there's a million mixers. They could hire any mixer in the world, but they're coming to you for a certain thing.
Yeah.
And once you find out what that thing is for yourself, then you have a career. You have a life in it. So
It is. Sorry, I just came up with another question. Can I make it? Or if you have to wait,
yeah.
it's okay.
Okay.
How do you recommend to the people to learn about mixing? Because I started with YouTube, but that was a long time ago. But
Yeah.
right now you have many different sources, and even you have a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and you help a lot in Instagram. Please, guys, I will look to the camera. Please follow this guy. He is amazing in Instagram. You can make him any question, and he will respond to you. And that's great. Not everybody does that.
Thank you.
Be careful with that. Okay, so what's for you? What's the best way to learn to mix?
Definitely talk to your colleagues, talk to your friends, see what they're doing, and
And if
mix
you don't
with the
have them,
masters.
imagine that you live apart from all that thing. For example, me, I didn't have anyone close that I
Yeah.
could talk with that. So
Okay. Definitely mix with the masters.
okay,
Video series is very, very good. There's a lot of great credited people there, and they segment it really well. You know, they segment it different topics, different techniques, different ways about how to deal with music and the music business.
yeah,
Pure Mix is also very good.
pure mix.
These
Yeah.
educational websites are great because mainly anyone in the world could use it. It's a small investment, whether it's monthly or yearly. I think that everyone should at least have it and watch it and stay up to date on what people are doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, Sam, thanks for everything. Thanks for your time. It was a huge pleasure for me to have you
Thank you,
here, to
thank
talk
you.
with you.
I appreciate it.
And if I can talk with you anytime, I will be honored to do it again,
Okay.
because I am learning every second that you speak. So
Oh, thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thanks to you. And that's it. Have a great day,
Okay.
and see you on Instagram.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sam. Ya habéis visto la entrevista. Lo ha compartido todo de la mejor manera que ha podido. Y me gustaría compartir con vosotros las conclusiones que yo saqué de esta. La emoción es lo principal. Es lo que mueve la música, es lo que mueve la industria de la música y es lo que los grandes se fijan. No es tan importante la técnica, cómo se hacen las cosas, que es con lo que por lo menos yo primero me obsesioné. Hay otras cosas que son más relevantes. Esto reforzó mi pensamiento de que la emoción es lo que mueve todo. Y no es necesario un equipo técnico hiper bueno o una habilidad súper maravillosa para conseguir una canción que sea excelsa. Sam ha sido el primer invitado, espero que no el último, y espero que os haya aportado todo lo que me ha aportado a mí. Sin más, seguiré con estas entrevistas y nos vemos en la próxima. Un saludo.